Hello there, good to see you again. This is Community Watch on Metro TV with me, Gabriel, Niobodaya Topra, Atunam Togbo, Ashonkwa Osonu. And today we are coming your way from Tema Manhean within the Tema Metropolis, doing a follow-up engagement on a report we've brought your way some weeks back about how sewer lines had become broken such that fecal matter, toilet, was gushing out from sewer lines within the U compound, the Agbo area. And following our report, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly has intervened to some extent, providing slabs and also treating the lines, the system, to ensure that the situation is resolved, albeit temporarily. And today we are here to highlight this situation to indicate that at least the assembly has responded. If you recall, there was also an issue with a refuse dump at the beach where young people, children for that matter, were going around and playing there. As I speak now, you could even see visuals of this situation.
Assembly members and the sub-metro 2 is here. So always they have been passing here. They have to see that this thing is not healthy it's not good for our health. Therefore do something about them. Yeah. Where this thing to the talk now. All the government lines, the public toilets, some have been passing through this. So they have to also here. So
this problem, in fact, I started around that was last year in February. The first one, the one just opposite our nursery here. Started since February.
Directly opposite the nursery.
The nursery where students normally come to school, they have to be dodging. Sometimes when it leaks, they come across the road and they have to jump. Or others have to go around the school before entering because we don't have any gate at the back. And those who are coming from this side also, when they're in the classroom, when teacher is talking now, their mind is always on the sense that is coming to the classroom, so they always have to hold their nose or put on their nose mask, and they always make noise because the scent is too much. It's too much to bear.
You see, there was a time that we have some people that came around to select the waste, the plastic waste, these bottles, and use it for recycling. But because of the physics water, that has now been coming from the top. So they can no more enter here and pick it. At least we do organize sanitation, twice every month, so that we clear. But then time the physics water or the toilet water from the top there has not been passing through. So we do organize twice in a week to clear. But now since
you said twice a month, now twice a week.
Twice a month, sorry. But now since I don't know if they intentionally open it but if you go to a junction there, the drainage or the pipe has broken.
Okay.
So that's the cause of the physics water passing through here. So as you are seeing, you see sometimes if you pass by, you think it's a dry land. Mm-hmm. So by mistakenly, if you step in, you are lost. I'm telling you. So it's not that we are happy seeing it here. We do communal labor once a while, but because of the physics water coming out, but you cannot enter. You can't enter to clear anything from there.
Where I am now, which is the U compound where the sewage line was broken, has over 1,000 pupils or students within the area because there are a number of schools here. But having the situation attended to brings some level of relief. And as we speak now, there are some pupils coming over. You would see them passing by me very soon. Previously, they would have passed very close to this septic tank you see, and it was such that any of them could have just fallen into the septic tank or the receptor right here. But today, as you can rightly see, the situation is quite different. We are drawing the attention of the Metropolitan Chief Executive that already one of the slabs is broken, and as a result, it has to be attended to immediately. The second point also doesn't appear quite pleasant, and so we are hoping that the Metropolitan Chief Executive would in no time take a step to ensure that it is well kept. But then we have the Metropolitan Chief Executive, Honorable Felix Niananla, on standby He's warmly welcomed us. Having given you a short background, let's meet up with him now so we engage him on what exactly they have done beyond what I have told you here. This is Community Watch with me, Gabriel Niobodai Togbo Ashon. We are now with the Mayor of Tema, the Metropolitan Chief Executive, Honorable Felix Ni Ananlas. Honorable, welcome. What has transpired so far in addressing the broken sewer line, which had become a worry to the residents?
Thank you very much. I think as of today, there's a lot of interventions that we are putting in place, but I would like everybody in Tema and the whole Ghana to know that the sewer situation in Tema, which is over 63 years old, is a serious issue, and we need serious intervention. That is why recently you could see His Excellency the President of the Republic coming in to cut salt, to look at it in the bigger picture, to see how it will be resolved. The one the media saw, I think we have done something about it. It is not best of solutions. It's just an immediate intervention to save the stench and what is making the people living in that community uncomfortable. That is what we have saved. But it is not best of solutions. We are still waiting to get assistance from His Excellency to see how the entire problems within the Tema area will be solved.
How far with the project?
There's a lot that has taken place. We are looking at everything in stages. After the sword cutting, offices has been set up. You know, when we talk about Tema sewer, we only don't talk about the sewer lines. We talk about pumping stations where the fecal matter finally lands before it is be transferred into the treatment plants, before we can separate fresh water from other sources. So it's a whole network that needs to be done. So we are taking it stage by stage. And I believe by middle of next year, we'll have a story to tell with how far we have gone with these sewer issues.
As of now, where has the project reached?
The engineers are on site. They are looking at the pumping stations. I've not gone for current situational reports, but I know they are on site. They are looking at the pumping stations. After that, before they will come to the treatment plant. And as for the piping work, we want to introduce a pipe that people connecting illegally, it will be difficult for them. So we are looking at that one too differently. A different team is looking at that one. Another technical team is looking at the pumping stations before finally we'll come to the treatment plant. Currently, I can say that the team is on the pumping stations working seriously. We need to get that right so that whatever water that we discharge into the ocean should be a fresh water. We are looking at that.
Honorable, there is a big challenge at the beach where there is a heap of refuse that you find children playing in the midst of the refuse. And looking at the status of your area, an industrial city, to have such a place, it isn't the best to talk about. We've reported on this for several months now, but the situation persists.
Yes, I agree with you. A month ago, together with the assemblyman of the area, my waste management team, the environmental sanitation team, we have come together to see how best we are going to evacuate that waste from there. Could you believe that it is difficult for us to, the excavator that we are going to use, it is difficult to have space to move it there. It's an issue. So we have decided that is not the only heap that we have in Tema. We should go and finish the other heaps which is accessible. Then after that, we sit down and strategically look at the one you are talking about. Because, if you send the excavator there, it is 3 days job. But now, even to drive the excavator there is trouble. So, and it's an issue which is bigger than manpower. And closely, our eyes is there. We are still looking at it. Anytime we have solution to it, we'll get back to you. We are also thinking.
No, the situation wouldn't be addressed in the shortest possible time. Being the assembly, you should be able to strategize where to create a space in order to send your equipment, because after all, the assembly is in charge of town planning. So if people have built their houses on areas which ideally and originally should be routes or streets within, it should be created to have that space to go and clear the refuse, because lives are at risk, Honorable.
That is exactly what the technical team is putting in place. But that particular waste dump is not an approved one, and it was created by the community, and it is an issue to the assembly already. And like you are saying, I've discussed with the assemblyman that if there's no way to the place, we'll create our own way. That tells you that buildings have to be pulled down to get to the place. And that is what people are begging the authorities with. But in the interim, we are putting measures in place to do continuous spray of the waste, so that what you are talking about, that there will be a breakout of any diseases will not happen. But thinking that we have to get that heap evacuated from there. In the interim, since you make that story, we have made sure that we do some insecticides. We spray the whole place to make sure there will not be any epidemic. We are also thinking of planting more coconut, since we are in a time of planting trees globally, Green Ghana agenda. Plant more trees there, if that will also help to save the situation. We shouldn't also lose sight of His Excellency the President coming to construct sea defense. And before that sea defense will take place, we'll by all means create a way. And I think we shouldn't wait till the sea defense comes. We have to create the way now. I know it's going to affect a lot of structures, and I'll discuss with the Tema Traditional Council and my team to see if we can relocate those people it will be affected. I'm saying this just for all of us to understand that we need to clear the waste from there. We need to create access, and the access we are going to create is not going to help us to clear the waste. It will also help the construction of the sea defense wall. So we'll surely do that. And if we need to relocate the people, we'll look at that one too.
Honorable, you are the man in charge. You are the Metropolitan Chief Executive. And it is the primary responsibility of the Assembly to evacuate the waste through whichever means appropriate. The question is, when are you going to create this space to clear the refuse? Or you've explained notwithstanding, when are you going to create this space?
I can confidently say that from now up to end of July, you'll see some action on the ground.
Okay. What specific action?
By creating the access to where the dumping site is. Okay. And since we all believe that that access creation will also go a long way in helping His Excellency's agenda on putting sea defense along that stretch.
Okay, because as of now, we haven't seen any document to the effect that this sea defense will be constructed by this time. So if we are placing our hope in the sea defense, it may not happen anytime soon. The refuse will be there and still risking the lives of the residents. But you've mentioned that in July, when we come, we are going to see real action being taken by the Metropolitan Chief Executive in creating space to then send equipment to the grounds where you see these refuse, now the heap of refuse, being cleared to bring sanity to that part of the community. So as you know, Community Watch 4, we shall be back in July to see if this action that the man in charge, the Metropolitan Chief Executive, has said indeed being worked on. Honorable, thank you very much. At least we've made progress through this conversation. Assembly member for the Dade Agbo electoral area. He featured prominently in our initial conversation. He even initially invited a team over to look at the challenges within his electoral area and what exactly he's doing about the situation. So he's joining me now. Welcome to Community Watch, Honorable.
Thank you.
So the Metropolitan Chief Executive mentioned a number of things that he's doing together with you. What has happened since we came here the last time?
Okay, after you left, issues arise like challenges, why did you come and others. But thanks to the chief executive there, aside all those things, he has taken a step on it. As we are talking now, the sewer line that broke through my community has now been worked on and then is going to the treatment plant successfully, that we don't have such problem again. Talking about the refuse dump at the seashore, we have had a couple of meetings twice that we are planning how best we can stop that, and I've had the opportunity to meet the contractor, to talk to the contractor. But the challenge that we are having is how we can transport the machines that they are coming to work at the seashore.
Which the MC mentioned.
Sure, that has been the challenge now, but we are looking at how best we can do to work on that thing as well.
And we can see a structure behind which is a public washroom, a toilet facility. When we came earlier, it wasn't open for public use, but today we can see some work. So what exactly is happening here?
Yeah, we are working on it to stop the open defecation in our community. Initially, we were waiting for sponsorship to come, but the sponsorship are not coming. So I took it upon myself to start doing something. If luckily on the way sponsorship will come, that's fine. But first it was 12-seater. This facility was built for us by the government, and it was 12-seater. But now, by God's grace, I've been able to turn it to 24-seater due to the population in the community. So I've turned it to 24-seater. That is very spacious. I'm hoping and trusting God that hopefully by next 2 months I can also done with this public facility as well.
It is commendable, and you wouldn't have it anywhere else but on Community Watch, where we are partnering community leaders and residents to ensure that challenges that affect the livelihoods of people are addressed amicably. So we've had the issue of the public toilets being attended to. Well, we usually encourage household toilets, but given the current situation, a public toilet also helps in improving sanitation or ensuring hygiene within the Tema Manhean community. Then the sewer line has also been attended to, and efforts are being made to address the refuse dump at the beach, which as of now, well, still isn't in the best of state. And we are still engaging the assemblyman because we made an observation at the sewer line where the fecal waste was initially gushing out onto the street, we noticed that a section isn't well kept, such that you could see the fecal waste which had become hardened next to the slabs that, or on the slabs that you have fixed. And the slabs have already broken down, or some of them are broken.
Sure. Yeah, the slab, I don't know how it happened, but I believe it's because it's on the main street. I believe a cam may have worked on it. So we are looking how best we can do and then fix a new one back. And then now we are going to fix the thicker one so that it can even stand when car is passing.
When are you doing this? Because it's very risky. When we got there, school had just ended. Today's session of school had just ended, and pupils were just moving around, playing and walking about, and one may fall in if care is not taken. When are you fixing it?
I'll fix it very soon, very, very soon, because it's not even part of the job that they assigned me to do, talking about the C1 line. It's not part, but as we worked on it, I decided that, okay, fine, so far as we have worked on it, we should get some slab to cover. And then I did a slab myself. You know, I'm not perfect, but because of, we want it to look perfect, so we just try to do something to keep it. But now I'll try and then get somebody to work on it and work it well.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Honorable Tay Aguda.
You were saying something about fecal that you saw on the street.
Not on the street, it was on the slab that you had fixed, had become hardened. It looked, or the place I must say looked quite unkept.
Okay, the one at the down.
Yes.
Oh, okay. When we took out, you see, it turned to sand. So after we took it, we're supposed to, I don't know what they may use it for, but I seek advice from the sanitation officer. And he told me it's nothing, it will not cause any harm. That is why. For me, I don't know much about that. But he assured me that it will not cause any harm to the public.
It still looks quite unpleasant.
Thank you, sir.
If it must be done, it must be done well. Exactly. So
we work on that. We work on that.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's the assembly member for the Dadiagbo electoral area. This is what Community Watch is all about. It's never about witch hunting. It's never about just exposing authorities for the wrong reasons or just to create a bad image for them, but rather putting the interests of residents, of Ghanaians above everything else, to ensure that we partner, to ensure that we judge, to ensure that we work collaboratively, the media, residents, community leaders, and everyone else, to ensure that the best interest of everyone is guaranteed in making our communities better places to be. Invite the team over 0241 431035. My name is Gabriel Prince Ni Obodaya Topra Atunam Togbo Ashon. I've done this together with Rosemary Koko Anyigba, Richard Adote Alote, and our colleague Pinto, and the rest of the team back in the office. Thanks for watching, and make time for Community Watch, same time next week. Bye-bye.